dikkatli değil bir şey. Her şeyini becer değil. Bu nasıl bir adam nasıl bir neyse bir gel.
Good afternoon, you Arabs and Jews, British Lebanese, coming to you from London's King's Cross in
Şu
traffic.
başına bineye köşede.
Askeriye boyamışlar.
Ama bu yantaları ne biçim lan? Ama bina. Dışarı çıkıyor.
This podcast is going to be talking about helping our expats, regardless of what nationality you are. There is a mass migration going on and has been for over a couple of decades. I used to work in a company where I was advising unemployment, and I ran a contract for the Government Employment Service as their job club leader, where I was doing induction courses and seminars, presentations, and going through with how to rehabilitate people back into the working environment. And so I gained the knowledge that I have to do my belt up, so stay there. Get some knowledge also in the specialising on the side of rehabilitating ex-offenders back into the working environment. Let me just say that again: ex-offenders, OFFENDERS, just to get that right, because when I was detained on hunger strike, they decided to twist that word, ex-offenders. Ex-offenders, by the way, means people who have committed a crime, whatever it is, whether it be a traffic or a crime or any other crime, that they call them ex-offenders. And I was learning to help them get back into the working environment, and that involved a number of avenues of achieving the work, which also included sometimes you might need to sharpen up your skills, yeah, and when you do, you need to just lost track there for a second. I'll tell you why. In fact, I'll show you now. You need to do a course so that you can up the quality of your potentials, your skills and that you have, and become more competitive in the employer world, which is ever such a competitive world that we live in. We're having mass migration these days, and as a result of that, this mass migration is generating some employable people who have had trained in their professions and careers, and let's just flip it over here. I think it looks better than me, so I'll flip it over for now. I-17JJ, eh? 17JJ. What is it? It's a McLaren. So we have here a bit of scenery. Look, he even twists the wheel like CID style, just to make it look. Oh, look, we've got a tissue inside. Let's zoom in, shall we? Be a bit nosy because it's in public, isn't it? We've got a can of something which looks quite potent, and we have a yellow thingy bob in the back. I don't know what that is. Just being a bit nosy, isn't it? What's that say? Yasmin. Yano Hoist. Yano Hoist. God knows if well that sounds like. You know what? I probably got enough money to buy that nut on this car. So let's zoom back here. Obviously there's something going on here in the St Pancras. There's this geezer trying to turn away when he sees me keep putting the camera on him. That's the reason why. It might be like avoiding the wife, innit? Oh shit, I've been caught. The wife can see me, you're live in London at King's Cross. There's another one here. She's got the weekend dirty bag. It is a dirty weekend bag, is it? Oh dear, hold on. You know what? Listen guys, I'm gonna have to go. No. It could wait for a second, but not for much longer. Unless my sisters have been contacted and started to do. It's just a voicemail that I've got to deal with that. That's the most important thing. Which means I might have to terminate this contract, this podcast here, and come back to what I was saying. So if you know who owns that number plate, you know who's in there. There you go. Private parking. And so teaching ex-offenders was translated by Huntercombe Hospital as I was specialising in helping sex offenders, which brings me to the professionalism that has been stripped from our country here in England, and the professionalism that we used to enjoy has had the goalpost pushed out in careers, in qualifications, and as a result you get some Tom, Dick and Harry who's come over on some fucking 20-foot container, who's forged some documentation that allows them to practice their profession in this country, where they qualified abroad and had taken their exams in accordance to the required levels of standards in that country, meaning that if you qualified as a lawyer, for example, in England, in America, you can't just come over to England and qualify. You have to take a course, and that course, what's that, a Kalashnikov or something? It looks like a compass. British Library. And that course that the American lawyers come over to England can't just come over here and practice. They just have to do the course. But there is a loophole that came into effect a few years ago, And that loophole for the American lawyers, barristers, and whatever you want to call them, solicitors, these mass tax money avoiding people always manage to find a way to avoid the tax and pocket the money and not put it back into the economy. And so these lawyers take a course, which is a few weeks course that allows their qualification to become able to practice their legal profession and get insured to do so. So from this, they become qualified. But in Huntercombe Hospital, I had what they call a mental health nurse. This particular one, and I'm going to say she was African, and she was also the same one that kept on coming in to see me as I'm having a shower in the morning, the dirty fucking slag. Yeah, you heard it. She kind of almost made a habit of it. But that very same woman, when I'm sitting down explaining to her what my career was, and in the very few times I decided to communicate with these so-called professionals, because I only mainly had talks with the doctors there. But that little bitch, I was going to say bitch, but I thought I won't, but I think she's a bitch. And being a Cockney speaking Londoner, I don't give a toss who you are, you class war people who listen to me and want to judge me. But when you are learning to specialise in rehabilitating ex-offenders, and I'm trying to do that so that the translate will capture my wordings properly, and you relay that to any educated or even non-educated person who had become a professional, not by qualification, but by the years of experience that they have, and they're out there. I'm one of them, I bear witness. And then ending up working for the world's #1 PC firm, Hewlett Packard, is an achievement. And so to you expats out there who are mass migrating, and I'm like jumping, let me come back to that, to the expats who are migrating. You have to ask yourself, why is a nurse in Huntercombe Hospital write down that I was saying to her I was learning to specialise in dealing with sex offenders? I know fuck all about how to rehabilitate sex offenders, but the bitch felt the need to write that down. Yeah, maybe she hasn't bought that weekly cotton buds when you come out of a shower and you clean your ears. Maybe it was just another common purpose. Let's go down this way. Yeah, maybe it was another common purpose member of listening to her superiors and writing down what her superiors tell her to in this private high category mental health prison that they sent me on. I'm gonna leave this subject now. I've spoken about it. I haven't spoken about some of these things today, so this is a bit exclusive to my quote presidential case unquote. So I've let out some information there that I'm forced to, because some things you have to reserve from saying, as someone said on a podcast yesterday, I retweeted out, and because everybody's got all eyes on me in terms of the enforcements, and they're monitoring everything I do. They all know my social media, and I don't hide it. I actually tell them it. So I did come across these so-called professionals in that hospital, and my asking them very simple questions that I only know from my experience in the working career, and as a former job club leader as well for both Kentish Town, and then when I progressed further, I took over Fulham and Chelsea together, and I was running both of them because Fulham and Chelsea got a lot of Arabs in there, so it was good that I had the lingo. I lost track here, but I was asking these so-called nurses, mental health nurses, and doctors, mental health, oh yeah, what they're called again, psychiatrists and consultant psychiatrists. I was asking them, so where did you qualify? And oh, okay, how long did it take you? And oh, was it in this country where you done that exam, or was it abroad? And these things are important to me because when you get sent to a mental health prison and you don't know why, and there is nothing in law, as I understand law, and I've dated a lawyer for 5.5 years and she's Jewish. That's right, me, a Muslim Sunni. So,
service to St Albans, Abbey,
so asking very simple questions to psychiatrists who qualified in India, who I recall one time he said to me, there's no law in this hospital here, we do what we like. Fucking cunt. He did what he liked. He came in and force injected me one night, early hours of the morning, walked into I thought I was having a drink, a bad nightmare. The police going everywhere here, what's going on? They're walking fast as well, so there's something going on. Look, they're all eyes. They've just split. Two chaps. One's just clocked me. There's something going on there. Something going on.
Hello, you alright?
Oh, look, he's sussed me as well. It's public, isn't it? It's public.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your concern.
No worries.
Have a nice day. Wow, do you see how sensitive the police were? What am I doing? What the fuck is this I'm holding? What is it, a fucking Scud missile? And there's software out there, by the way, I'm just going to tell you, there's software that you see all these people here, everyone here, everybody here, have got their phones, and there's software that you pull up on your screen, and there's a map. And on that map will be an indication, look, more please, quite a lot more. Two of them over there. Oh dear, gosh, is it about me? Wonder. Yeah, and that software will have each person in the area will have a number 1 or a number 2. One that represents a male or a female. And that will be the indication to their smartphone. And their smartphone will be on that report, so they know who's walking on the street, and they can associate that with the CCTV. The CCTV can focus down wherever you are in this very, very, what's it called again? Big Brother world that we live in today of terrorist policing. I can only describe it as terrorist policing. I wish I didn't look at it that way. But from personally, I can only talk from personally, from what I hear as well. But essentially from a personal view. So, Underground is that way. Let's go down there. Gonna get cut off in a bit. But I'm going to continue this conversation a little bit later. I'm going to have to get some shopping for someone. And hold that thought, yeah? Mass migration, expats. I've got a lot to say about this, to how you can deal with and cope with going to another country and looking for a job, and what are the important things that we need to empower you with to be able to get along and adjust and seek work and go into and touch into some of the intricacies and anomalies of getting a job and the obstacles that you do. But one very important one that I want to make and highlight as an important factor is that you have to learn the language of the country that you're going in. Yeah, very important. Very, very important. Don't stick with the communities religiously. Try to expand and get to know people from that country and befriend them, and kind of, it's a cosmopolitan country you're going to be going to, where they're and all these mass migration people here, and as a result of that, there'll be a lot of people to get to know, and you'll meet a lot of different culture. It'll be very educational, but essentially learn the language. And the second thing that I have to say is learn the law. When I say learn the law, it'd be ideal if you get into that, but learn the law so that you understand it, so that you will be able to know whether you are being discriminated on, whether your employment rights, which you come to find that you have, as much as dithering as they are these days, dithering away, and that you can utilize them to your advantage to progress in your career. And I want to remind you that although you've done things, different jobs in your career as a person who's moved out to another country, or a person who's currently living as an expat abroad, I think it's important to understand that those skills that you had, those skills that you accumulated, I don't care what profession that you've done in. There are things. Just today, someone approached me and he said to me, he was trying to, outside a supermarket, and he was trying to get me to eventually make a donation to the London ambulance. And when I heard that, I didn't want to put this guy off, because they're using this passion and energy of this man to bring in some work. And, I don't know whether it's part of some government little thing that they're doing, or get back to work, or whatever it is, where it was mandatory that they do, and if they don't, they lose their benefits. But I looked at the matter and I thought, oh gosh, why is the government sending out people to collect donations for London's ambulance, or the ambulance? Why's that? Why's that? Why isn't the government doing this? Where's the money all going? But I approached him in a different way, and I said to him, look, I didn't want to hurt his feelings, and I brought it to him that he was learning these jobs as a stepping stone, and that I identified a few skills there, including face-to-face talking, confrontation face-to-face directly with a customer. These words here, so certain keywords you can put down that you've done in your job, whether it was in a mechanic or in a warehouse, or operating a forklift, or operating other machinery, which there are jobs out there that require those skills that you can put down. And there's eloquentness in how you can set your CV and capture those skills and put correct wordings that and encapsulate it to a small but general CV. Now, not all CVs are supposed to be going to the job, the same job. Some CVs you'll see different descriptions of jobs, and you will have to think back to what other jobs that you've had that you can somehow adjust into that CV and put them in and change that CV in accordance with that specific job. So you might have to do a little bit of touching on that. I was going to do this in Arabic really because I did want to get out to the community, but I've got a lot of things on me right now and I have to really go because I've got a phone call I've got to deal with. But on that note, I'll do a couple of other podcasts over the next couple of days. I'm trying to get the Detective Gallagher to call me so that we can make arrangements. So is the lawyer that agreed to do the interview process. Nothing else, just the interview process with me till I find another lawyer. And I still haven't found another lawyer for my other case in Westminster Court. But it looks like I'm going to have to represent myself because I after the judge promised to allow me to interrogate the witnesses, I received an email saying, letter saying that they are going to appoint someone, which I am not happy with. And that's the why Detective Gallagher wants to see me really, because when I call up their call centres and they don't want to answer the questions and so on that I have operate from the Mackenzie law, you know, you're acting outside your job remit. And if you want to act outside your job remit, yeah, I can call you anything I like. Yeah, I can call you anything I like. And if you lot want to deny me, when I was trying to get a ticket out to go to Lebanon, where it was being bombed to fuck, yeah, to get my mum who's sitting in a wheelchair, and you're not answering my questions, and you're denying me to go out to Lebanon. You say, yeah, you can go out to Lebanon if you want, but you've got a court case you've got to go to. So when I get out there, if I get stuck or Beirut airport gets stuck, yeah, when I come back with my mum in the wheelchair, yeah, Heathrow Airport, they're going to be there taking me and then taking my mum. Am I going to allow them to do that? You don't know the stress that I had to fucking deal with, yeah? I've got to see this Detective Gallagher who's not getting back to my lawyer, yeah, to reply. Yeah, and my lawyer, after me chasing him up, keeps telling me, I'm doing this free bono, I'm doing this free bono. You're doing this free bono? Yeah, you get paid from the legal aid. He's saying to me, I don't know whether we haven't given you an application form yet, we haven't filled you out to see if you're... I know I'm worth legal aid, I know I'm entitled to legal aid. Yeah, but these guys there, you know, they're like, these guys, these lawyers, these solicitors, yeah, they've got so much work, they pick what they want and they fuck the rest off. Yeah, that's what they do. And they look at you and see what colour skin you got and see what's your name. Oh, they look at the name there, the surname there, big tell in this sectarian fucking world that we live in. And there you go. For now, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. And I will be talking about Lebanon. I've got a few things I want to discuss. And who knows? Yeah, who knows? I might even request a few interviews with some people out there in the world. Yeah, I might have a few questions to ask certain people out there. And who knows? Yeah, who knows? Who knows what might happen? But I do know one thing: that being an influencer, or speaking, or being Lebanese, or being a Muslim, yeah, next to Israel, yeah, being a Muslim here in London, a British Lebanese Arab here in London, talking about what's happening in the motherland, yeah, they want to silence you. They want to silence you, do what they like, and send their people to shout to your mother up to the balcony and to shout, and then I hear it, and then I find out what I don't hear it. I get told. And I find out all this black op and psyop that they're fucking pulling on you, yeah? And all I could do is just inform the public. فهمتوا الخرا اللي عم يلعبوا علي يسمحوا لي، yeah? برجع أقول لكم، yeah? أنا عملت شغلة ما كنت بدي أعملها بس كنت so stressed out. And there are bridges that I've burnt, yeah? Sorry? Am I a journalist? No, I'm not a journalist. Yeah. fucking make me lose track what I wanted to say. But yeah, I've burnt bridges. Yeah, I'll come back. I got it. I've burnt bridges. Yeah, and some of the bridges I burned. Not a lot. Not a lot. Not a lot. Some of them I don't give a toss about, and I'm glad I burnt them, and I reiterate it again. But some of them, it pains me. But they're very intelligent. They understand that we're being targeted. And they understand that they're being targeted. Be you a journalist, be you a member of the parliament in Lebanon, that's why I did it, because the police are on my fucking case. And they could cook up anything they like. You could say, oh, you're DMing a politician in Lebanon. So what? I'm telling them about my case that wasn't dealt with by the Lebanese embassy, Ambassador Rami Mortada. I'm telling them about what the fuck is going on with this Western-backed British Lebanese embassy here in London. Yeah? And they're the opposition. They're the opposition, the legitimately elected opposition. And until now, right now, they are the legitimately elected government. Well, in government. But there cunts out there who are cults and want to call it a vilified name. So I walk with regret, and I know that they are not offended by me, and I know that they understand, because there comes a difference between certain people who either understand or don't. Yeah, like you either understand what they were talking about, the eye, yeah, or you don't. Yeah, no, I didn't take advantage of it. And there's a bit of riddle information in there. While we're on the subject of that, to my Lebanese tips audience, I've let down. I usually elevate November with sports betting tips for my audience. Yeah, I haven't done that because they consume me. I haven't even talked about my own country because they consume me. But there you go. These are how the mechanisms that they control that my people don't know about. Assalamu alaikum. Oops, wrong hand, left. That was rude. Yeah, assalamu alaikum to the Western-backed Lebanese out there with my left hand. Assalamu alaikum to everybody in Lebanon, Palestine, Yemen, Iran, Syria. Allah makon ya Syria. Allah makon ya Shabab. Allah makon ya Palestine. And anyone out there who trying to say that the resistance have left Lebanon, yeah, those are the Salafis and the Wahhabis that Syrian analysis was pointing to. The Roshan of, what's it called again, 5 pillars. Yeah, Roshan 5 pillars. I wonder how long they're going to last. Yeah, these people here who throw in these questions are backed by the Salafi and the Wahhabi, the terrorist organisations that are backing those people who are killing the Muslims and the Christians in Syria now. Now they're doing it now. It's happening now. Just remember, everything I say has been scrutinised by Islam CID, all sorts of units. I don't know what they fucking segmented me in. Yeah. Cassandra's been called. Yeah, she didn't get back to me from the crisis team. So I kept chasing her and spoke to Nooni, who was pretending she didn't know who I was, and who actually did come at once the second time to have me arrested with enforcement and police. And I was on the phone to, what's his name? A diplomat's official who is my contact, who I've met before, Ali Bannout. Yeah, and he was telling her things that made him act from a personal capacity, which caused the former First Council, Hazem Abdus Samad, to call the hospital and shout down their neck, demanding I get released. Well, because he knew that his staff violated the embassy protocol. Yeah, you remember that, Munna? Power of attorney. Yeah, power of attorney. You're supposed to know the law, international law, yeah? But you don't want to practice it. Why don't you? Why don't you want to practice it? Yeah? Because would you get brown envelopes from across the door, a few doors over for the Israeli embassy in Kensington Palace Gardens? Is that right? Is that right, Mr. Rami Mortada, yeah? Ambassador of Lebanon? Is that right? Is that right? You're getting brown envelopes. Is that the why you can't touch my case, but you're all right to let the embassy protocols that's set and bounded by every country in the world, yeah? It's all right to do that, is it? It's all right to do that, is it? It's all right to do that, is it? Look how many cameras there are. Fuck me, look, there are 4 up there, 5, 6. And they're probably all focusing on me now because I've got that complex. You know? Those bunch of policers that turned up over there, I'm wondering whether it had something to do with me. You know, I was only filming. I don't understand. I don't know. Who knows? Might be the scare. But they tried to make themselves all alert, as if like maybe, who knows? Maybe they're there because they could linked into the smartphone. Yeah, the chip, the Intel chip inside the Intel chip. Didn't you not hear about that? The Intel chip that has an Intel chip inside the back door. The Israel Silicon Valley. Anyway, on that note, watch out for Temple Brew. Yeah, Temple Brew is the name of a horse. Today was about 17-1, went down to 13-1. Should place. Bid you a good day.